Hi there, welcome to Lorena's Labyrinth. If you're unfamiliar with the channel, I'm Anah. I'm the owner of the business here. If you're a returning visitor, thank you very much for your ongoing support. I'm prompted to share this technique. Today we're going to be looking at a strategy called Create Your Inner Sanctuary, which is something that I learned many years ago, right at the beginning of my conscious and aware spiritual journey. And I think it's helpful to everybody, particularly if there's been a lot of fearful situations in their life. So it helps to rebuild feelings of safety and security. And it's also, I consider, to be an essential strategy to connecting with your own guides and guardians. It was a favourite of mine back in the day, and it remains a favourite actually, because not only do you create your inner sanctuary, you also can balance your auras and your chakras at the same time. So it's what we would call a healing creative visualization is probably a good description of it. So just for the record, it really doesn't matter if you believe in the creator or divine in the way that I do. This is purely an exercise, and this is the beauty of anything that's spiritual, is that you can adjust it to whatever feels right and comfortable to you, because at the end of the day, when we talk about creative visualizations, we're talking about something that is personal and relatable to you, and where you've got total control over anything that happens. Now, the way it works is, obviously, I provide you with some information and you get to create from my verbal prompts, if you like. I'll just go on to the next page so that we can talk a little more about how this is going to work. So the beauty of doing a guided meditation or creative visualization would be that you can actually, because technology is so brilliant now, you could actually create your own for you using your own voice and talk yourself through it using the types of prompts that I have, and that's going to be far more effective for you than actually listening to anything that I might do or offer you. But the point of a creative visualization or guided is that it helps us to focus. So if you've never done meditation before, you'll be aware it does take some time to be able to focus your intent to achieve the outcome. With a guided meditation, what's really helpful is, in this, for example, we're going to say, you will be prompted, I will prompt you along the lines of, we're walking through a garden of flowers. Now, the normal process when we get started on anything like meditation is that the mind may stray off. You might find yourself all of a sudden thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do for dinner tonight? I've got responsibilities, The mind tends to wander, and it takes practice to actually be able to keep the mind focused on the objective that we're working towards, in this case, which is going to build our inner sanctuary. So the guided visualizations or the prompts are helpful because your mind may wander off and you might be thinking to yourself, oh, what am I going to do for dinner? And then you're like, oh, yeah, because the automatic is a bit of a reflex of like, oh my goodness, I've drifted off, Don't overthink it. What you do is you just bring your mind, you recognize, this is about recognizing an awareness. At some point in there, you recognize, oops, 1 minute I'm walking through a field of flowers, and then the next minute I'm thinking about dinner rather. So then you just consciously bring your attention back to the voice that you're hearing. Now, if you've recorded it yourself, then you bring your voice back to where you're at within this walk, and you might have actually missed a whole field of flowers or whatever before you bring your attention back. But the point is that you don't berate yourself, you just go with it. So this is the beauty of creative visualization. Now, before we do any type of meditation or visualization, we have to do a little bit of preparation, and that includes focusing the intent. I would encourage that you invoke creator, guides and guardians first, and in that order, or creator, guardian and guides, using the power of decree and then stating what it is. So for instance, today we're going to be looking at creating the inner sanctuary, where you can connect with the divine aspect, your higher self, your guardians and your guides, and where you have total control about who enters into this sacred space and who doesn't. That's the underlying purpose of this visualization. And you do that as part of using the law of divine decree, okay? So I'll just give you an example, which would be, if you, okay, I'll just throw one out here, okay? Father Creator, Father Creator, Father Creator, power of 3. Mother Creator, Mother Creator, Mother Creator, power of 3. Guardians and guides, or, my guardian angel, my guides, if this is how you invoke it. I now invoke you to support me to develop a sacred sanctuary, all right? Just something like that. Then you follow it with, and I give thanks as I ask, for I know that as I ask, so it is, right? It's going to happen. You also use a little bit of courage of conviction, or some conviction in your voice when you make this statement, okay? So that's focusing your intent, what you aim to achieve, and then you prepare the environment. You get ready to go into that very personal state. So that can be, I've just given a couple of examples here. Turn your phone off so you don't get interrupted in the middle of it. If you think somebody might come by and knock on the door, you need about half an hour to do this activity. Put a note on the door, not answering or whatever. I think that's probably about it for as far as putting that boundaries around your personal time. Then we'll look at what you can actually do within your personal space. So while you can do this activity anywhere you want, you don't have to be at home to do this, but most people like to be in a safe personal space, if you like. And this can actually be part of a group meditation. But in my experience, and from what I know, that most people might like to do it, say, in their bedroom. It's a dedicated space where they can just be doing whatever it is they want to do. I would encourage you to take in a piece of paper and a pen to write some notes down after the exercise, because quite often what comes up is it is that healing. It's the bringing of the subconscious also to the conscious. So through the activity, you'll become aware perhaps of some things about yourself that you hadn't been aware of before. And I'll discuss that later at the end of it. For now, though, I'll put the focus on how you might prepare your room or the space that you're going to do the activity in. Now, when a person goes to a meditation group, there's generally tea light candles around. I like to use them. You don't have to have towels. I mean, this was just the best image that I could find at the time. But yeah, a candle burning, some incense burning, that's always really nice. Lavender oil is always lovely. Lavender oil actually helps people to relax, as well as it's got protective properties as well. Now, when it comes to actually doing the activity, it's probably best not to lie down, because the reality is you may fall asleep. You might get so relaxed through this state that you end up falling asleep. And the idea is to remain awake for it. However, there is something that you can do should you fall asleep. You can just put it out to the universe and your guides that we'll call it a meditation here, right? That it continue through your sleep state, and that you continue to receive the benefit of it, and that when you awake, that the information that you could have gathered comes to you in your conscious state. So that's just something that you can do. However, I would encourage you to get a comfy chair, one where you can sit upright with your hands on your knees with the palms placed upwards, and your feet firmly on the floor. Okay, because this is generally the pose that people take. Some people are comfortable to sit on the floor with cushions because you want to be comfortable, but other people are not comfortable sitting on the floor and crossing their legs. So it's about you being comfortable for the longest period of time and able to sustain that comfort, because if you become uncomfortable and you need to stretch, you won't be able to focus on the activity that you're doing. So that's what you're doing with the room setup. Use your imagination. Background music can be very, very helpful when doing these kind of techniques, because they can enhance this experience of relaxing and that kind of thing. And also, I believe they actually carry a certain amount of healing. It feels good. I've put up here some of my favourite names. I particularly love all things Medwin Goodall anyway, but one of his is Medicine Woman. If you can access the one by Patrick Bernhardt, that would be a good one to start. One of my all-time favourites was Tony O'Connor with his Mariner album, and that's because I actually like hearing ocean sounds as well. And most of Tony O'Connor's work, I think he's passed away now. I could be wrong. If he's still living, I apologise. But most of his music is deeply relaxing, but he's brought in animal sounds and bird sounds or just the environment. So I really like his. You may enjoy it as well. Otherwise, alternatively, you could just go for some of the Reiki music options that you can find online. You might even want to use the, what are they called? The ones that I've got in the chakras, solfeggio tones. But frankly, I would just recommend going for something that's very peaceful and relaxing. One of the issues that I have personally with things like the Reiki music is sometimes there's an overuse of the bells, tingle, tingle, stuff like that. And I would prefer just to have the music and go with it. But of course, this is your experience, so it's up to you to work out what it is that you want to do. So any spiritual activities that we do or mindfulness activities, we always commence them with what we call the sacred breath. Now, we'll put a link back up into the description of the video to remind people how to do the sacred breath. But for this activity right now, just to explain it to you, it is breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And each breath, so you start a visualization with 3 to 5 repetitions of a cycle of breathing in and breathing out. So I will explain this to you, but once you've got through this cycle of repetitions, then you allow your body to find its natural rhythm of breathing for the activity. So it becomes a start of the first breath is a larger breath to get your body ready for it. So you breathe in through the nose and you breathe deeply down into your stomach if you want. Obviously they say diaphragm, but where does that stop? When people first start, they think that it's breathing to the top of the rib cage and feeling your chest expand. It is that, but it actually is more than that. So you breathe deeply through your nose, counting to, try for 5, but you might not be able to sustain it. Better if you can count to 7, but these kind of things take practice. So start for 5, but if it ends up being 3, be happy with that. You breathe in through your nose, 1, 2, 3, 4. You hold it, 1, 2, 3, 4. And on the 5th breath, you start to expel that air out of your lungs. And then you hold the empty space for the count of 5, and then you do an inward breath through the nose again. So you're getting rhythmic breathing happening and full expansion of the lungs. Now, as you do this, there's going to be some other things that you can be doing while you're breathing, and that includes flexing of your muscles, because ideally before you start these activities, you're getting yourself into a position that you can sustain and be comfortable. Which for many people is that sitting on the floor with the palms upright, legs crossed. Not all people can do that though. So sitting it in a chair is a good place to sit. We've discussed all this anyway. But you need to, whatever position you've taken, you start to flex those muscles starting at your toes. Scrunch your toes, then stretch them out, then tense your calf muscles, thigh muscles, things like that. As you're doing this breathing exercise, you're also flexing, tensing, relaxing muscles up through your body so that you can sustain it. And then we'll go on to the next slide to talk about what else you can be doing as you do that initial breathing. And just a reminder that while you're doing this exercise and activity, if you do believe in guardians and guides, you can ask them to ensure that they assist with the process. And in fact, even if you don't, you can still ask. If for you, your approach is that you want to connect with your higher self or the divine that lies within you, you can do it that way as well. You know, it's all down to you personalizing it. In regard to the breathing, don't stress too much about it if you lose your rhythm. And if you, throughout the activity of creating your sanctuary, you lose your focus, this is the beauty of doing a guided meditation or a creative visualization, is because if your mind does wander off, don't get cross with yourself, just start again. It takes repetition. Practice makes perfect. So as you do this breathing as well, this is where the process really commences. You envision, and if you're not envisioning, if you struggle to hold a visual, because some people don't find it easy, just tell your mind, tell yourself, or accept it as part of of the visualization, that you're breathing this most beautiful white light into your aura. And this white light is shimmering. It may carry the hues of like the inside of a pearl. You may notice other colors within it. Once again, don't force, just allow it to happen. You might even see that within this white light, because you're breathing this white light into every fiber of your being, and on the exhale, this beautiful white light is filling your egg shape of the aura, if you like. Now, as you're doing this, you could also visualize or see a gold outline around the perimeters of your aura. So it's this beautiful white light, you're in the center of it, and the whole of this egg shape is protected by this wonderful golden aura around it. Now, the white light in itself is protective. As you're doing this breathing in, you're breathing in protection. Your aura is sealed from anything that is less than love, and only energy of the highest level and vibration can access you, and that is the energy of the divine, the light beings of the highest order, which are your guides and your guardians. Now, these divine light beings that will be able to access you, they have a primary purpose, and that is to support you through your life journey on earth. And in fact, guardians have been with you since your soul was created. Now, you can commence the inner sanctuary where you will be able to meet with them and personalize your connection with them in a way that feels comfortable to you. This is going to be your safe place, and we're going to go to meet them today. I'm trying not to do this as a creative visualization. I'm just trying to give you the strategy, but this is the stuff that you would be saying to yourself. We're going to meet them today. We're going to meet them now. So a reminder here that this whole experience is one that is sensory as well as visualization. So in your mind's eye, you see and feel yourself standing at the edge of a forest, and directly in front of you lies a path. You can scan and look around at the peripherals, and you may notice people that you've known during your life who you've loved, and they've loved you back and they've left their bodies. They're now part of the other side. You might even see that some of your beloved pets that have left their bodies, that they're on the other side waiting and are eager to join in this journey with you. They want to walk the path with you. Now, realistically, some of these spirits may be able to walk part of the way with you, but this is your personal journey, and so they won't be going the whole distance with you. So just make a mental note to yourself to remember the details of who you see throughout this journey and what it felt like, because all of these people that you're going to see, they're going to have great pleasure that you have been able to see them during this visualization. Now, you may be tempted to stop here and spend some time with them, but this is a journey with a purpose. So once you've completed it, you can come back and do this journey whenever you want, and there'll be times in the future where you can spend more time with them. For now, though, time is pressing and you must move on. So you can convey this to those people and to the pets. You can convey this to them telepathically through thought. But for now, put your attention back to the footpath. Well, is it a footpath? That becomes the question. What does this path look like to you? Is it sealed? Is it unsealed? Is it inclined, hilly, flat, rough, pebbly? Does it look well traveled, or are you having to make your own path? Is it dense, And if it's dense, as you start walking the path, watch it clear, because you will have ease of access quite quickly. Now, as said before, it's important to feel sensations with this. So you would be asking yourself, can you feel the beautiful radiation of the sun upon your skin? Can you hear the birds sing? What type of birds? Do you hear insects buzzing? Can you identify what are the insect noises that you're hearing? Is there a taste? Can you taste anything in the air? And as far as smells go, or scents, is there a scent to the forest? Things like this. Can you feel a breeze, for example, on your skin? Is there any breeze at all, or is it just very, very still? This is your visualization. So you determine what it looks like. What else? Can you see the pathway becoming clearer now? Are these people continuing with you further down the track? As you walk along this track or pathway, you feel an increase in your levels of vitality. Things become clearer. You see that there's a line of hills and mountains ahead of you. You realize that you're going to have to walk up an incline, but you also know that it's not going to be too difficult and that you can manage it with ease. You're able to enjoy the surroundings around you, and in your visualization now, you see that you've reached the crest. Okay, and you're now going to step over the top or stand on top of this hill, and you're going to glance forward. So as you stand on top of this hill or mountain, however big it is in your imagination, you look forward, and all you can see is the most incredibly beautiful red flowers, fields and fields of red flowers. And it's very pleasing to you. It feels wonderful. You want to stay, you want to look at these fields for longer because it's just so beautiful, and the hues of the red is just amazing. But you know that you've got to kick on. So you keep on walking, and as you come close to them more closely, you can see greater detail about the flowers. You may even recognize them. They might be roses. But do they have pointy type flowers or petals? Do they have stamens? Do they have rounded petals? This is something you can sort of soak yourself in right now, into the red of these beautiful flowers. You can even pick a flower if you want. You might prefer to leave it on a bush. You lean in and you hold that flower into your face and you inhale that beautiful perfume. And you keep walking after you've appreciated. You might want to send gratitude or say thank you to the universe for this wonderful experience at this point in time. But you keep walking, because ahead of you, you can see that there's another hill. There's another crest waiting for you, and you're interested to see what lies the other side of this hill. So right now you're feeling more vital, more alive than you've ever felt before. This is truly amazing. So as you reach the crest of the next hill and you look out forward again, this time you're met with fields for as far as the eye can see of orange flowers, and these orange carrying a range of brilliance about them. And this field of flowers just fills you with joy and pleasure. You feel great to be alive. Any sorrow, sadness, hurt, or whatever starts to melt away. You no longer feel fearful. You're aware that these orange flowers, they're just so sunny and bright, and you're just bathed in their brightness. Now, once again, you take a look at these flowers. What do you notice? Do they have round petals? Can you identify the type of flower they are? Have you seen these flowers before? Is there anything else that you can notice about these wonderful flowers? You keep moving because you know that you're on a journey. You can spend a little bit of time here to look at them more closely, have that big sniff of them, smell their heady perfume if you like, and allow them to fill you with this sense of joy, the melting away of fear. Peace starts to make its way into your entire sense of being. You can see there's another hill crest in front of you. You want to get to the top of that one. So you keep walking. Your stride is full of spring, shall we say. You are bouncing, well, not necessarily bouncing, but you're eagerly making your way to your destination, and you've got to get to the top of the next crest. So as you stand atop this new crest and you look out, this time you're seeing, yes, more flowers, but they're yellow. They are absolutely stunning, different shades of yellow. And once again, they are as far as the eye can see. They are completely dazzling. Are you hearing any birds? Are you seeing any insects, hearing insects? You know, this kind of thing. Pay attention to the environment, because you're walking down the hill, you're walking through the fields of yellow flowers, and as you get close to them, you're able to identify them. You know, you look at their flower types, or even if you can't identify them, they may be ones that you've seen before. But it's important. Pay attention to these petals. What are the petal shapes? You're starting to feel not only more vital and greater pleasure within your sense of self, you're now feeling a greater level of confidence. You have real hope and faith in your own abilities to be able to achieve this journey and to do it well. Okay, you're starting to feel at a core level that you're up to the challenge. Okay, so keep walking, because there's another hill ahead of you, and you're starting to know and expect that actually, yeah, there's going to be another field of flowers on the other side, and you're eager to see these. So you keep forward and you step to the top of the next hill, and then you look out, and what you see is pink flowers. Beautiful pink flowers for as far as your eye can see. They are stunning shades of pink. Pay attention to the colour here. Is it the bright pink? Is it the pale pastel pink? Either way, it is beautiful. It is perfection. You start to feel really good about yourself, and all those old chestnuts of feeling a lack of worth and undeserving, they kind of just melt away from you. They fall away. You start to realise at a core level that you've always been worthy. You've always deserved the best. You deserve kindness, and you deserve your own kindness. You start to find yourself extending compassion to yourself and recognizing at a core level you are loving, and you are lovable, and you are loved. You are starting to accept that you are perfect, warts and all, in the divine image. Love and adoration surrounds you, and the divine love is unconditional, and you allow this beautiful feeling of pleasure, self-acceptance and self-compassion to soak within you as you come up this mountain or this hill, looking out at these fields of flowers. And then you notice something else about these flowers. These ones are a bit different to the previous ones, because as you look at them and you soak them in and get that heady aroma from them, you know, the beautiful flowers and that, you see that there's another colour peeping through this pink. And it's actually the colour of emerald green. This emerald green that is peeping through the pink of the flowers, you can now see as you walk closer to it that it's actually the leaf foliage of the plant. And you find yourself realising as you get closer to these plants and see them more up close, that everybody is perfect where they are right now. Even those people that you've had conflict with, you start to realise that they, you know, and realise and understand at a core level that they also have a divine spark within them. They too are on their own journey of self-growth and development and soul expansion. Wherever they are at, they're in the right place for them right now. In the same way that where you are at, you're growing and developing in the perfect way for you. Well, so are the other people. So you find as you embrace and embody this knowledge and information that any of the heartache and heart pain that you had before kind of dissolves and melts away and is replaced with feelings of compassion and forgiveness for yourself and for others, knowing that we're all loving and lovable, but we're all at different stages of our soul growth. You start to feel much lighter and more alive, more joyous, more hopeful for the future. And you continue to walk up the next hill towards the top, eager to see where this is going to take us now. And as you step on top of the hill, you look out and all you can see is fields of blue flowers. So as you look out at this field of blue flowers, this is more of a pale blue, a light blue, and these fields of flowers, for as far as you can see, it just seems to send this energy of peace and serenity that floods every cell of your being. And you obviously continue to walk along your own path. Once again, you make observations of the flowers. What are the petal shapes? Are they big? Are they small? Are they round? Are they pointy? Are you still feeling the sun shining on your skin? Is it getting brighter? Is it getting to a different part of the day where the sun is more gentle? You really are starting to feel in a very good space. You just feeling far more alive than you've ever felt. You're joyous, you're content, you've got faith and hope that you can manage whatever comes your way, and you know that you've got the skill base to communicate effectively. You are really looking forward to getting to your inner sanctuary, and as you step up the crest of the next hill and you look out, all you can see is flowers of the colours indigo, and these fields of flowers, they go as far as the eye can see. You look at these fields and these beautiful flowers and you try to identify what they are, because it's a very unusual shade of blue that you've not that familiar with. It's a bluey purple type colour. As you walk down the hill and you get close to them, you obviously scrutinise them. Are they rounded petals? Do you recognise them? Perhaps they might be African violets. You are able to inhale their perfume. You breathe the colour and their scent deeply into your entire being, and you give thanks and you keep walking, because you know you're not far from your destination and you really are eager to meet with your guides and guardians. So you continue walking purposely in the direction of your sanctuary. Have you noticed any changes in the path as you walk along? Can you still hear birds? Are there any birds? Notice what's going on in your environment around you, and give thanks for the observations. Keep walking as you come to the crest of the next hill, which stands directly in front of you, 1 foot, 1 step away. This time, directly in front of you, you see flowers of the beautiful lavender colour, a beautiful pale, perhaps lilac. Do you recognise the flowers? But this time it's not for as far as the eye can see, because what you can actually see behind these fields is actually a forest grove that leads to somewhere else. So you start to know within yourself, you have almost arrived, you are there, because within this grove of trees there's an opening that you can walk through. So you find yourself walking forward to that destination. Any of the animals or travellers that may have travelled with you to this far, you now say goodbye to them, because the next part of the journey is yours, and yours alone, to meet with your guides and angels. So you all agree to catch up if they're there. If not, you walk in by yourself, and as you walk through, you see your guide and your guardian waiting for you in the clearing. Now, they may be one and the same light being. This is yours. This is your visualization, but you see them and you know that they are there. They know that they're yours. It feels like a homecoming. There is a soul recognition, and you find yourself racing towards them, knowing that they are radiating to you the pure, divine love and regard for you. All these sensations of safety, validity, value, they all come to the fore. Now, as you reconnect with them, this is your personal reconnection, and in a moment I will be silent to allow you to reconnect. But what you will do is notice that in this sacred space of yours, it may be behind a wall, there may be a fence. You get to design this basically with your guides. But the first thing to do is make that connection with them. Then you can create this place to reflect what it is. Take a look around though, because you may actually have building structures within this now. There may be a hut, there may be a tent, you may be just in an open field. This is where you determine what feels right for you, and put it to the back of your head and write this down later on, what it looked like for you. You know, and you and your guide can communicate here that you can return here as often as you like, and you make a commitment that you will return on a regular basis as part of developing your connection with them. And your guide reminds you that nobody can enter this sacred space unless you give them permission to, because this is your space. You have full control over what happens in this space. If you put up a fence or a gate, you can put a gatekeeper on there that only allows those spirits or energies in that have been given a gate by you that come through with your permission. And you can even put to your guides that if you make an error in your judgment, which, that might be to let somebody who is lower vibration in, that shouldn't come in, who's not healthy to be around, that they assist you to be protected from those energies, even if you would say yes. I think that's actually covered in one of the laws of decree, actually. The guides are going to protect you and keep you safe. You actually don't need to say that, but if it makes you feel better to say it, then say it. But the guides' primary purpose is to keep you safe and protected at all times and in alignment with the divine. This is a very blessed reunion, and your guide assures you that even in your conscious state, they are with you and they will never ever leave you. And if you want to communicate with them, you just have to ask. When you make your farewells, you do so in the sacred space, and then you start your journey back to the conscious state. You leave the sanctuary and you start to travel back through the fields in the same way that you came in. Before you head off though, worth saying thank you. And as I say, just commit, feel it, allow your body to feel what this energy feels like. But you can't stay here forever, because you've got a purpose, you've got things that you've got to do. As nice as it is, you have to say goodbye right now to them, but you will be back soon. So you walk through the fields of the beautiful lavender or lilac flowers, and you acknowledge their beauty, you give thanks. There's a feeling of gratitude deep within you now. You've got greater understanding of the process. You might not know everything, but you have an understanding of what your role in life is. So you continue down, you've got a purpose, you need to go back to your conscious self again. So through the lavender flowers, past them, and you find yourself back into the fields of the beautiful indigo flowers. You give thanks once again to being able to experience the healing energy of these beautiful flowers, which help you to understand and see things from multiple perspectives. You now have a better vision and view of what life is about. You continue on your walk over the hill and into the next field of flowers with the beautiful pale blue flowers that make your heart want to sing. You're feeling very peaceful, and you make a commitment to yourself that you're going to come back to your conscious state with greater peace, feeling alive, feeling vital, and you're going to employ peace into your daily being. You continue with your journey now. There's more to go. As you look out at the horizon, you realise that you're back with the beautiful pink flowers that have this emerald green that peeps out from them, and your heart fills with love. You realise and accept that across your life path, you have always deserved to be loved. You are loving, loved, and lovable, and you commit to treating yourself with self-respect and recognizing that you have value, and you start to really embody that self-compassion towards yourself for failing to meet your own ideas of perfection. You are a work in progress, and you find that this compassion extends out once again to those people around you. You make a conscious decision to forgive those people that have hurt you, because they too are on their journey and they are responsible for their own actions in the same way that you are responsible for becoming the best version of yourself. You make a conscious choice to live with dignity and self-respect, and to let go of any bitterness or hard feelings when you return to your conscious state. As you come over the next crest, you find yourself in the beautiful fields of yellow again. Your hope is restored, your faith, your trust in life and the process of life. You trust that everything is happening and everything is in divine order right now. You're more confident about how you're going to live your life in your conscious state and the decisions that you make. You have greater trust in yourself and the process of life. So as you come to the next hill and you stand on the horizon, all you can see as far as you can see are flowers of the colour orange. You feel the colour orange of these flowers just permeate every cell of your being. You feel warm, you feel joyous, you feel grateful to be alive, you're excited and you're looking forward to your future. You are looking to implement your new knowledge into your way of life, and it's exciting. So you continue upon your journey. You've got this fresh sense of vitality. You come to the top of the next hill and you know that your journey is almost over. You're almost back. You find yourself now walking through the fields of red, and you really appreciate the beauty of the surroundings around you. You feel very safe, very secure. You're vital, you've got purpose in your life, you're eager to implement the changes because you feel that there's been this amazing inner shift. You know that you're surrounded by divine love and that you're supported by a whole divine support team. You can see the grove or the forest path coming to a close. You can see now that you're almost at the end of your journey, and you'll make your way to the exit. So you're now back where you started your journey. You're at the edge of the forest, and it's time to re-enter the conscious, awake plane. So as you bring your awareness back to your conscious state, flex your muscles before standing. You might want to give yourself a moment to open your eyes, do a bit of a stretch, flex your jaw if you feel like it. Just stretch those muscles, flex, tense, relax, right? As you lie or sit consciously, just allowing yourself to reflect on the experiences that you've had today. Now, are there any experiences that you want to note into your journal? Think about that now. I'm going to do other information about this experience that you can look at and capture on a different slide, so just bear with me. So as you come back to full awareness and consciousness, what you're actually doing is grounding yourself. Allow yourself about 5 minutes. As I said, before you stand up, you can shake your hands, whatever way it is to sort of bring yourself back to awakeness. Now, basically what I've given is you a tool to connect with your own guide and create your own inner sanctuary. What can I give to you thought-wise with this? I've made a heap of points, but I feel that it's not really flowing. So I'm just going to talk to you now about what you can do. Okay. Once you come back, you can give a little bit of a thought to your sanctuary. Hopefully you've got enough time and nobody interrupted you and nobody's banging on the door outside right now where you're doing your little space thing. But give a thought to your sanctuary. How did you find it? If you saw it, was it in an open field? Does that help you feel safer? I mean, I have thoughts about this, and my understanding is that if you go to your inner sanctuary and it turns out there's an open field with no walls around it, right, then there's no defensive mechanisms in place, which for some people, I think back in the day when I first started, I thought that was a good thing, because it showed that I was loving and accepting of everybody. But realistically, that leaves you exposed and vulnerable. So you might want to give consideration to, where when you build your sanctuary, do you want to have a little house there? Do you want to put a white picket fence around it? If you are feeling particularly vulnerable, perhaps those people in war zones or whatever, you might want to have a fortress with 10-foot brick walls on the perimeters or whatever. It's for you, it's how you make yourself feel safe. Now, not only would you kind of look at, okay, this is the physicality of my sanctuary and my safe place, but you can take it even further. You can go inside of that safe place, and if it's dark, you can open windows, you can put windows into walls. If it seems a bit barren and sparse and doesn't have very many luxuries of life, shall we say, you can put silk scatter kit cushions around, all of this kind of stuff. You can really decorate it out to make it more comfortable. Now, of course, we're talking psychologically, and it can be fun, You can also obviously visit this place on a regular basis as often as you need. I find that obviously if people are trying to survive dangerous situations, it feels nice to go to this safe place, I suppose, when the world's exploding around them, to have this sanctuary to go to. But of course, the key to doing this or meditation or creating this space is actually to be able to connect with your guides, your intuition, if you like, and so that when you're in your conscious state, you can feel their energy. So let's use the extreme scenario. Say you're living in a war zone and you've got bombs going off, right? Well, if you're sitting there meditating, right, you might actually get hit by a bomb, right? So you can't be meditating all the time. But if you are intuitive and awake and aware and responsive to your intuition and your guides letting you know that danger is there, you will recognize what is the difference between intuition and just negative mind chatter. So this is the benefit of creating the sanctuary, is to build your trust in your own ability as well, to trust your own guidance, your own internal workings to keep you safe or to guide you to more positive outcomes. Now, just a reminder to you again that as you go through these activities, you will start to feel energy, and it is beautiful and it's potentially addictive. So you're going to need to draw a little bit on self-control and make sure that you keep the balance in your life. I'm actually doing a yarning video today that talks about why we don't try and force growth. And if you look at the universal laws, I think I've got a section with the video Economy of Force where we talk about what that might look like, right? So you just allow these things to happen naturally. Keep a balance in your life. I would also... Okay, so for your information, what I will also do is look to put together some transcripts going forward for you, because I've got many, many of them. I haven't led meditation groups for a long time. I might have to practice them, but at the very least, what I'll do is I'll put together some transcripts in 2024 so that people can draw upon them at their convenience. Now, the way I used to do it back in the day, before we had the technology that we do today, is I think it was a dictaphone thing, and I used to read the transcripts into my dictaphone and then put them into my ear, because my understanding is that when you're doing these kind of meditations, it's actually better, or it helps to do the growth and development if you actually get your own voice in there into your head talking to you, for the purposes of guiding, okay? Or if not yours, look, I'm not even going to go down that pathway. I would record the things in my own voice, and then I would put one earplug in to play the meditation prompts, and then I would have the music playing in the background, and whatever choice that might be. I can honestly say that I actually used to fall back on Tony O'Connor a lot with his Mariner album. And also, as time went by, I really liked Patrick Bernhardt with his Universal Solaris. Now, no, I'm not getting paid to tell you about those, but I think what it was I found that by using those ones, and of course Medwin Goodall's stuff, that it kind of helped to kickstart off the feelings of love. I have got a beautiful meditation that I'm going to give you. You don't need to be talked through it, as in a guided one. Basically, it's just giving you some imagery to do and an explanation. And I will try and put that one up in the very near future as well, 2024, hopefully in January. But anyway, I'm off for now. Thank you for being part of my journey. Feel free to share this video with whoever you think might benefit from it. Pleasure as always. Take care. Speak soon. Bye-bye.